This is Jenny from Healing the Wounded Heart. This week has seen some of us gradually beginning to emerge from our lives of hiddenness and seclusion. For many, this has come as a much welcome relief. But for others, it is a time of intense nervousness and anxiety. Naturally, we are all concerned and ask the same question, well, is it really safe out there? For others, they have had no choice but to return to the classroom, whether as students or teachers. I suppose we could also actually say, well, is it ever safe in life anyway, regardless of what we do or where we go? God is very good at working deep in our hearts and lives during the hidden times of life. These are often dark times when we struggle to really believe that God is still with us, let alone that His hand is actually working deep within us, changing us so that we become more like Him. I remember so well my years of hiddenness, fear and anxiety when I could not sense His presence at all. It was only later, after emerging from that time, could I see why He had allowed me to go through it. I emerged with a fresh hunger and passion for Him, plus a fresh call on my life. I am reminded of Jesus Christ in the Bible in Luke chapter 4 and verse 14, where it says that after His temptation in the wilderness, He returned to Galilee in the power of the Spirit. There was a reason why He was led by the Spirit to go into the wilderness, to be tempted by the devil. Notice that He emerged victorious. I wonder, what has God been doing within your heart and life over these past few months? Some of you may not be able to answer that question yet, but you probably will in time. On a more personal level, just because I write these blogs does not mean that I have got it all together, you know. No, far from it. I am seeking to encourage myself as well. I have been aware of an increase of frustration, anxiety, fear, and anger rising up within my own heart over recent months. And it has not been easy. These kind of emotional responses seem to have been heightened by the lockdown. So, no surprise there then. However, I have learnt that during this time of my personal restriction, what really matters is that I just rest in His love and not to keep giving in to the temptation to ask, well, I can't preach. Now what am I going to do? Now please, don't misunderstand me. I know He has called me to speak for Him. But to be honest, in some ways, I have actually been beginning to feel as though I was on a kind of a spiritual treadmill as a speaker. So since having been forced to stop speaking in person, it has caused me to let go of that which in some ways has been so important to me. It has helped me to realize in a new way that of course I am totally loved by God just by being who He has made me to be. But that actually I do still have a life apart from speaking. So how about you? What has been taken away from you during this time that you thought you would never survive without? What fresh understanding of God and his love for you have you discovered?